feeling about immigration gets lost in labels, and people start saying, you know, things like, you know, Islamophobic, xenophobic, whatever they come up with. But at the end of the day, the people that are upset about the resources, resource allocation, what's happening in their neighborhoods, in their communities, what's going on in them with them personally, financially, this is coming from real people. This is not something that's being made up. If you listen to corporate media and if you listen to entities whose job is to shut down dissent and to shut us up and to label us as Trump supporters, you are missing the boat. Because at the end of the day, these grievances are based in reality.
I need this message to go out to our vice president who's running for president. I have heard all over social media about, excuse me if I say anything wrong, immigrants getting loans, money. It was hard for me to believe. It was just extremely hard for me to believe. I've been in business such a long time. Back in 2019, I purchased my first food truck. It cost me over $25,000. I paid it cash money. I worked hard to pay for this truck. I'm now selling it because I'm doing other things, but I'm selling it. I had a guy come to look at purchasing my vehicle or my food truck, and he explained to me he's an illegal immigrant. He has no credit. He has no money in the bank. But he showed me his paperwork that he will receive funds to purchase my food truck. I'm thankful that he's buying it, but I'm hurt that I worked so hard to pay cash for my food truck. I have good credit, can't even get a business loan because of the color of my skin. I have veterans in my family. I'm a veteran. I've been self-employed for so long. But somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money to buy my food truck. And when I talked to the bank, they told me usually they have to go straight to a dealership because I'm a private sale. But for special circumstances, they're going to, they allow it. But I need my president to tell me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades. Couldn't get a business loan, but I bust my ass to get the money to create my business. And we got immigrants coming here. And they're getting money. Money! We're doing nothing but just being here. It's not right, and I want answers.
I want answers too. To ask those questions is one of the third rails in politics. To ask those questions put you on the outs. To ask those questions get you a label. I ask those questions anyway. This is the reason why I ask those questions, because no one else is willing. Most people are not willing to ask these questions. They would rather discredit her. They would rather say she's doing Trump talking points. And I don't know, man. We got people we've seen this all happen before. When people didn't want to vote for Hillary, they said they were plants, that they were bots, that they were working for Putin. Anything that does not fit the narrative of what they want you to say or be on to express, they want to label you something negative to dismiss you so that you have no impact. I don't know the woman that you just heard, this sister who just said these things. It seemed authentic to me. I don't know why someone who has not been a U.S. citizen should get opportunities that Americans, citizens, cannot get. I do know I played a clip last week of, or the other day, yesterday, I think it was, of Robert Reich, big time progressive hero, saying we relate to immigrants. So we come from immigrant families. That's why we. And I just think about this and I think about that. And I think about what Theo Von said about people, even white Americans, and how they feel about being cast aside, about not having the opportunities. I think it's a grievance many of us have. And what I'm saying is, it should be addressed. But I don't think that Kamala Harris is one of the people that will ever address it. I don't think the Democratic Party will ever address it. Okay? Because when you talk to Kamala Harris, and that's who the video was for, and she was asking, what are you going to do about this? See, they want you to elect Kamala and support her and send money because she's running against Trump. And because she's a black woman. But this black woman wants solutions and answers about what's going on in this black woman's life, what's happening to her financially and to her business. And wants to know what's Kamala going to do about that. And instead of that being something that's respected, something that you would be totally plausible for a citizen to ask of any presidential candidate, we get pushback and we get goofballs who are, I believe, taking money from the Democratic Party to put out propaganda that dissuades people and penalizes or punishes and bashes even black Americans from asking a presidential candidate, what will you do about our problems? Says we don't have a right to ask these questions. We need to just support this black woman and put her in office. But see, at the end of the day, I don't think that these answers will ever come from Kamala Harris. What you're looking at is a shapeshifter. And people can't admit it. It is what it is. Exhibit A.
He's a coyote. A mother who pays a coyote to transport her child through their country of origin, through the entire country of Mexico, facing unknown peril to come here. Why would that mother do that? I will tell you. Because she has decided for that child to remain where they are is worse. But what does Donald Trump do? He says, go back to where you came from. That is not reflective of our America and our values, and it's got to end.
To be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border, do not come. Do not come. And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back.
Okay. I'm trying to understand why people that who have a problem with me criticizing Kamala Harris and for calling her out for her foolery and her fakeness, her authenticity, absent of authenticity, her obvious role reversals and flip-flops. And in that first clip, she seemed very passionate. She seemed very much committed to standing up for immigrants, illegal immigrants. She wanted, everything was playing, the violins were playing. And hey, if that's the way you feel, I get it. I want the same passion for Black Americans. I want the same passion for poor Americans. I want the same passion for working class Americans right here in this country right now. Number one cause of bankruptcy in America is being sick. Not going to Vegas and blowing your money on the tables. Okay? It's being sick. Black Americans are 40% of the homeless population and we're 14% of the general population. That means we're more than we're 3 times more likely to be living outside. But I see no such passion from Kamala Harris. But okay, if that's how you feel, fine. And then a year later, as vice president for Joe Biden, she's one of the people saying, don't come, turn around. The same people, she was just criticizing Trump for turning people around, and then a year later, she was turning people around her damn self. And the people that say Tim Black, well, it's just a job. She worked for Joe. To quote Hollywood Shuffle, there's always work at the post office. You can always find work at Winky Dinky Dog. But we have people that are so conditioned to trust in people and to ride with people who are showed you that they have absolutely no commitment whatsoever. Then what are we doing it for? So when a person says they don't want to vote, and I admit I was one of those people saying people should vote, that's because I had something to vote for. I felt Dr. Cornel West was something to vote for. I still believe that. Because Dr. West is not a politician. Say what you want about him. He ain't a politician, man. He doesn't say one thing and mean another thing. He talks long. He's got a long answer because he's smart and he thinks a lot. He's a philosopher. That ain't the same thing. Kamala's not a philosopher. She's running from answers. She's running from answering your question. That's different. But if this is how Kamala really felt about immigrants and she felt that we should be letting them all in, and then a year later she's a total opposite person, how could you have any trust in that? And how could you be upset with people who decided not to vote when they're presented with this? That's the person? That's the person they should support? Why would you believe she's going to go all out on any policy for you? She has no core. She has nothing. She doesn't believe in anything. That's how it appears. Who could do that except an actor? Who could do that split screen is the same person. That is not AI generated, sister. That's not something I made up. That's 2 videos of the same person. I do need to get an AI detector though, so I can be sure.